Hey there, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that affects millions of people, aerophobia. You know, the fear of flying. If just the thought of getting on a plane makes your palms start to sweat, then you've definitely come to the right place. So let me ask you, does your heart start pounding when you think about walking down that jet bridge? Do you get that sinking feeling in your stomach when you're just trying to book a ticket online? If any of that sounds familiar, then yeah, this is for you.
And look, the very first thing you need to know is this. You are so not alone. Seriously, this is a real and actually super common fear that a lot of people are dealing with.
Okay, so what are we really talking about here? Let's be clear. Aerophobia isn't just, getting some pre-flight jitters. It's way more than that. It's this really intense, overwhelming anxiety about flying, and it's an anxiety that just doesn't go away, even when a part of your brain is telling you, hey, the stats say flying is incredibly safe.
So that begs the question, right? Where does a fear like this even come from? To really get a handle on it, we got to dig down and look at the roots.
And it turns out the causes can be all over the map. For some people, it all started with just one really bumpy, stressful flight they had years ago. For other folks, it's actually tied into other fears, like a serious fear of heights. And sometimes it's actually part of a bigger picture, like an underlying anxiety condition.
All right, so we've talked a bit about the why behind it. Now let's switch gears and talk about the what. What does this actually feel like, from the inside out, for someone who's going through it?
Well, internally, it usually kicks off with this really powerful sense of dread. We're not talking about a few little butterflies in your stomach. This is a huge, all-consuming anxiety that can start building up for days or even weeks before you're even supposed to get on the plane.
And all that intense internal stuff, it doesn't just stay in your head. It shows up in very real, very physical ways. I'm talking about things like trembling, breaking out into a cold sweat, maybe even feeling sick to your stomach. Your body is basically having a full-blown stress reaction.
So what happens when that internal anxiety and those physical reactions just get to be too much? Well, it often leads to one thing: avoidance. Just completely avoiding airplanes and airports. And this is where it gets serious. People will literally turn down amazing job offers, miss out on weddings or holidays with family, cancel that once-in-a-lifetime vacation, all because of this fear. It can have a massive impact on your life.
But here's the really, really good news. Facing this thing, it's not something you have to do alone. And there's a clear path forward. So let's take a look at the flight plan, if you will, for actually managing this fear.
And this is maybe the most empowering thing to hear. Even when it feels totally overwhelming, aerophobia is 100% manageable. It's not a life sentence. There are proven, effective strategies out there that can make a huge difference.
A great way to think about it is this three-step approach. It gives you a real framework. First up, therapy. Things like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, are game changers here because they help you literally rewire those anxious thoughts. So when the plane hits some turbulence and your brain screams, "We're going down," CBT gives you the tools to stop, challenge that thought, and replace it with something more realistic. Like, okay, this is just turbulence. It's like bumps on a road. It's normal and it's safe. Then you've got calming strategies, simple things like breathing exercises, which are fantastic for handling those physical symptoms right in the moment. And of course, for more severe symptoms, medication prescribed by a doctor can be a really helpful piece of the puzzle.
When you really boil it down, just understanding what this is, figuring out where it might be coming from for you, and knowing that it can be managed, that's the biggest first step you can take. Seriously, knowledge is such a powerful weapon against fear.
So I want to leave you with this to think about. Just imagine, for a second, now that you understand this fear a little better and you know there are tools out there to manage it, what if your entire relationship with flying could actually change? What if your next flight could feel different?